In today's video, we're actually going to be removing the vinyl wrap off the E36. This wrap has been on here for, God, I want to say at least 4 years at minimum. I'll put the date in the video, but yeah, man, this wrap has seen better days for sure. Cracks and lifting here. This is obviously coming off the side of the car here. You can see this is coming off. The hood looks like crap. And yeah, the front of the car just, you can see all my quick fixes here of just cutting small pieces to just kind of cover it up. And it looks absolutely disgusting. Underneath it is a decent coat of black paint, the original black paint actually. I would say it's probably 5 out of 10. It could use some work. So after I remove the wrap, wash the car, I'll probably clay bar it and use a polisher to try to buff out some of the swirls and imperfections in the factory paint. I'm not expecting a miracle. I'm just expecting it to look a lot better underneath the wrap. And on top of that too, there are some areas that will require some paint. I did purchase a replacement bumper because the previous one that I had on there had a crack on the lip and a crack in the bumper. So the one that's on there right now is actually just primer gray. So that's definitely gonna need to be painted. And I do have an area back here that I did Bondo, and that's gonna end up having to be painted too because I just covered it up with wrap. I do have a paint sprayer, but I really just wanna rattle can it black, which is fine with me because during the summertime when things start to actually warm up, I do intend on scuffing and spraying this car. Initially, you guys know that I did paint the engine bay and I was planning on doing the same color on the exterior, but the more I think about it, the more I just think this car would probably look a lot cleaner in just all black. Oh, and by the way, for those wondering, yes, I did vinyl wrap this myself. I did not pay someone to do this. So if you're saying, man, that's a really crappy vinyl wrap job to begin with, that's because it was me that actually did it. I didn't pay anyone to do it. I wanted to learn and do it myself. And to be honest, it really wasn't that hard. It was just more so just being patient. And patience is something that I definitely have to work on. I did wrap the entire car. It turned out decently when I first did it, but obviously through the years and the weather and all that stuff, it can definitely use some work. So we're gonna go ahead and start peeling this off now. On some of the harder areas, I'm actually gonna use a heat gun. That way I don't rip any of the paint that is on there. I'm hoping it's not gonna be too difficult to come off. Again, this has been here for probably 4 or 5 years. I just hope it doesn't rip, but we'll see what happens. I think the front bumper should come off pretty easily because, yeah, it was just a crap job to begin with and it hasn't really laid down the best. And it's already lifting to begin with, so let's see what happens. I'm gonna take the lip off, that way we can get some of the vinyl off from underneath. And there it goes. Well, it's definitely peeling off, but it's not coming out all in one piece, so we are gonna hit it with some heat. You can definitely see some residue here from the adhesive. I think this is gonna take longer than I thought. It's a good thing I'm starting it in the middle of the night. Hopefully I can get this all off by tomorrow. I've literally been working on this probably for the last like 2 hours. This is really just tedious, man. It's just a pain in the ass. The areas here that I overstretched the vinyl are super hard to come off. It's literally just flaking off. Some of the smoother panels are a little easier. What I'm finding is that a lot of the pieces are getting stuck behind the trim. This one here, you can see behind the bumper. Granted, this is Vivid vinyl. Isn't exactly the highest quality vinyl. I'm not really gonna blame the product because it's also application as well and I'm not a professional. So I think it's a combination of the vinyl, the age of the vinyl, as well as how I laid it on there. That's why it's so difficult for me to take it off. Now, I am using a heat gun and it's helping here and there, but for the most part, yeah, I really wanna try to get all this vinyl out by the end of the night so tomorrow I can wash the car and spray this front bumper, but let's see how much I can do. 3 hours later, a sore back later, we finally got all of the wrap out of the front bumper. I think I'm in for a long night. I'm gonna try to take as much of the vinyl off still, and I'm just gonna keep chugging at it, man. All right, guys, we are back. It is the next morning, and after many hours and sore fingers and thumbs later, all of the wrap is off. And this is what the car looks like with the wrap off. Obviously, it needs a good wash. It's been a couple of years since I've seen the paint itself. The paint is not perfect. There's definitely some areas where I feel like it could be polished. Some clear coat spots look a little iffy. I kind of screwed up here. When I was pulling the vinyl wrap off, I forgot to apply some heat on this area and it actually lifted the clear coat. What I'm gonna end up doing is sanding this down real quick with 320. I'm gonna try to re-clear it. And I was trying to find 2 times hardener or 2 times clear, but none of my department stores sold them. So we're just gonna do good old Rust-Oleum. And I get it, you know, it's not the best way of doing things. And I do have a paint sprayer. It's just a pain in the ass to get it all set up and running. We're just gonna rattle can it, see how that looks and go from there. So far, the areas that I need to focus on is here. I did have a duck bill here previously and I was stupid and I basically just sanded this smooth so I can get the wrap on there. Obviously, you know, this is something that I can't just buff out because it actually did cut into, looks like the base and the primer coats. This is where the M3 logo was. I also sanded that down to accommodate the wrap. Sanding this down with 320. We're gonna scuff the front bumper as well. We're gonna get that painted black. Yeah, got a busy day today. We got a lot to do. We'll sand first, scuff the bumper. I'm gonna wash the car real quick, wait for everything to dry, and then we'll start painting. All right, so a couple of things that I forgot to mention earlier was that this hood, since I've ever owned the car, has always been sketchy. Like, it hasn't matched, the paint doesn't match the rest of the car, so I feel like the hood's already been resprayed. And a couple of things that tell me that is that you can see, just after sanding with 320, there's a bunch of scratches in the hood. And you can see primarily right there too. These aren't really deep, but I could tell that this was just sprayed at one point in its life. And I've had this car since 2016, so whoever the previous owner was or owners was definitely resprayed the car. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and hit it with 320. These little areas here, closer to the edges, I'm just gonna hit it by hand with 320 because I don't wanna get the DA any closer to the fenders because the fenders are actually kind of decent. So yeah, let's keep working. So I just got done washing the car. Looks a lot better actually. Here's the hood. Gonna have to respray a couple of these areas with some black paint. And we're gonna start spraying the front of the bumper as well. So I'm gonna start masking off some stuff and then we'll get spraying. I pretty much taped everything off. Kind of a race against time here. It's about 4:30 in Cali. Sun's gonna go down I think in about an hour and a half. So trying to finish this up before then, but pretty much, well, I gotta tape off the lights. But yeah, this is my crappy paint tape off. Gonna paint that black right there, cover that area. Taped off some of the rear stuff. Again, this is just a quick fix. I'm not trying to win any awards or anything. I'm just trying to get all of the car black. I just want it to be all black. Yeah, let's get started before the sun comes down. Probably gonna end up getting hard lines in here just looking at my taping, but again, I'm not a professional and I'm just trying to do this as quickly as possible. So just finished up the gloss. Doesn't look too bad. It is cold. What is it today? Now it is 51 degrees out, so definitely cold. It's not ideal temperature, especially outside as well. So I will have some runs. There's a run there, run here. I'll probably try to scrape that off with a razor blade. I am gonna spray the clear though at the same time, so I'm just gonna clear it, scrape it off, sandpaper it down, and fix it later. Because I am pooped, I am tired, it's nighttime outside. I just finished spraying. I didn't bother recording it all, just because it's pretty much repetitive, but right now I'm gonna pull off my masking. On my next day off, I'm probably gonna go in, sand some stuff down, try to get rid of some orange peel. Yeah, we'll see what we can do, but I'm just happy that the entire car is black at this point because an entire car that's black looks better than something that's black and all jacked up with the paint. So what I'm gonna do is take it off, bring it back inside, and pretty much let the paint dry inside the garage because it's way too cold outside and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like 40, 30 degrees tonight. So it doesn't make sense for me to leave the car outside. It's not gonna dry the paint very well. As you can see, I got some overspray here. I'm not even really tripping about this because I got a DA. I'm just gonna polish this out, or I can just sandpaper that out. Basically, everything is all blacked out now. There's that area down here. Hard line, like I knew there would be, but again, not tripping about that. And here's the front. Now, I really like the way the bumper turned out. It's got that gloss finish. It's kind of hard to see because the garage is kind of dark, but the hood, I don't know, man. Like, it looks like a matte. And I got gloss black and gloss clear. It's probably because it's not a 2K clear. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. I'm hoping once it dries out, it'll be a little more clear and pop more, be a little more glossy. Otherwise, again, I'm just gonna take a DA and go to work on that as well. I might sand that down to see if I can get something out of it. Not really tripping too much because I'm actually thinking about getting a carbon fiber hood, which would actually be ideal for 1, weight savings, 2, it looks cool, and 3, it would probably clear the LS motor a little better because, again, if you guys remember, Aaron had to cut into the hood to make it fit. So, yeah, man, gosh, looks so much better in black. Man, yeah, I'm super happy that we were able to take that wrap off. Again, it's not perfect, but hey, it's, you know, original black paint from BMW. At least I think it's original. All right, so it's been a couple of days. I've been working on the car pretty much nonstop whenever I get the chance. So I just want to show you guys the power of wet sanding because I showed you guys the before of right after I painted the car, and I just had orange peel all over the place and it looked like crap. This is the before, and transitioning over, here's the after. So as you can see, there's a lot more gloss in the paint, a lot more shine, much better compared to this almost pretty much matte finish. You can't even see my reflection right here. You can't even see my reflection right there. Over here, hello, it's nice. Like I said, a little bit of orange peel. I'm pretty sure if I hit that with 1000 grit over and over again, and then 2000, 3000, I'd be okay. But on this side, I actually did 1500 to 2500, then a heavy compound. In the center, I did 1000, 1500, and then 2500. I feel like there's a little more shine in the center right here. You can still see imperfections for sure. Like you see a dark spot right there, a couple of scratches right here. I'm not sure if the camera will catch that, a deep scratch right here. And those were already present before I even spray painted the car. So that's my fault. If you guys are gonna do this and you wanna do it legit, obviously you gotta fill those scratches in with Bondo, set everything down and get everything as perfect as possible. But again, like I said, this was a really quick job for me and the finish shows that. 3 feet away, maybe 4 feet away, looks presentable. I'm gonna keep working on this. This is very time consuming. You can try just doing it with like one pass of 3000 or 2000 and then heavy compound it, but obviously it's gonna look like crap. So the longer you spend on it, the better it'll look. You guys can kind of see here that there's a transition from metallic to gloss. Kind of hard to tell from a distance, but for me personally, I can tell. My wife said she can't really tell, but then again, I'm the one who did it, so I know exactly where it is. Tell me what you think. Can you guys tell the difference? It has been a minute since you last saw me, and that's because I pretty much did a 2-stage correction on the entire car. So it's been a couple of days since I did that. It might be a little dirty, but for the most part, the paint turned out pretty good. You can see reflection right through, and mind you, this is like 30-year-old paint, so not too bad. The hood's a different story. So I ended up repainting a couple of spots, and it's not my best. You can see there's some orange peel on there, and a couple of areas where the original black paint is showing through. The original black paint is metallic, and the paint that I use is a gloss. As a temporary fix, it doesn't look too bad. The bottom bumper, this was polyurethane that I just painted in gloss black. Not perfect at all. I painted this in the cold, but I did the best that I could. And it turned out decent. I'm not gonna say it turned out good, it turned out decent. Here's the rear here. You can kind of see the transition here between the new paint and the old paint. I did screw up over on this side here. I dug into this area in the bumper, so I had to respray that gloss. Can't really tell from a distance, but you can definitely see right there that there is a change in the color. I did end up putting back my emblem. I just plasti dipped it. Yay, plasti dip. Cover up all the crap scratches I had back there. In hindsight, looking back, I was so impatient putting the wrap on this car. I just didn't care about the paint underneath. And now that I took the wrap off, I kind of wish I took my time with the wrap because I ended up sanding, cutting, and just doing all kinds of obnoxious things to the paint underneath because I figured, screw the paint, it's gonna be covered up. And now that I took it off, I kind of wish I didn't do that because the paint could have been better. And for the most part though, for what it is, I'm happy with a 30-year-old paint. It's not the worst paint that I've ever seen. It's not the best paint that I've ever seen, but yeah, I can't really complain. I definitely think it looks a lot better in black. I wish I could take it out right now, but it's kind of raining outside. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Did you guys like the blue better? Do you think black's a little more stealth? I kind of like the sleeper look of the black. I think that's kind of what I'm going for this car now. Like it's got an LS motor. I kind of want it to be like sleeper status. I don't want it to be super obnoxious. The blue was really loud. It was cool for the time, but I don't know, maybe I'm just growing older, but I like the old school, you know, black look. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Man, this one was drawn out. I was making this video and also the steering wheel video at the same time, and it was like half and half because I was basically waiting for the paint to dry, and when paint was drying, I was trying to install the steering wheel and vice versa, and it was just a lot of work. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you in the next one. Peace.